Well, I never thought we would get to this point, but my God, what a cliffhanger of a chapter. What a cliffhanger of a chapter. Anyways, guys, this is Camp 15, back at it with another video for you guys, and we are back to do another My Hero Academia manga chapter review. This time on chapter 306 of the manga. And what a groundbreaking chapter. To say that when you read through all this chapter and then you get to the end and you're like, your jaw is dropped with utter shock and just like, what the hell did I just read? What is Horikoshi doing to me? Listen, that ending was wild and probably one of the best cliffhanger manga endings I have ever freaking read. Like, dude, Deku just leaves UA and he's like, goodbye, peace. Just leaves the letters to all of the other classmates and it's like, I'm gone. Well, I'll talk about that. I'll talk about that. So, okay, so manga chapter 306. Now, you would think after the end of manga chapter 305, we would be getting and we've seen what the second and third users of One for All have to offer. Well, Horikoshi is still cock teasing us on that. When I mean he's cock teasing us on that, he really is. This man does not want to show us anything what happens or anything that is related within the first and second users of One for All. He really doesn't. He really doesn't. He's like, oh, you want to see it? Yeah, no. You're going to have to wait a while. About that whole situation, I really feel like it's going to be, I'm not trying to say it's going to be what Oda's doing with One Piece, but I feel it's going to be in that situation where we're going to get the revelations on the second and third users, like in the final arc of this series, maybe sometime during the final battle. Because, you know, definitely, it's interesting because, you know, at the same time, it's like, I feel like he's just doing these cocktease. Oh, you think you're gonna get him? You think so? The speculation is still there. I feel like that's gonna now. I feel like going forward, we won't get revealed who the second and third user are until probably potentially the final arc in the final battle, and that's when Deku probably is gonna reveal those guys' quirks. That's my only guess, unless Horikoshi gives us those quirks earlier. I really feel like that's gonna be like. The way they're hyping up the second and third users' quirks are making it seem like it's like some sort of secret weapon type of last-ditch effort resort type of thing. So we'll see. But anyways, this manga chapter essentially, you know, deals with, you know, obviously the public, mostly Endeavor, Best Genius, and Hawk all facing the public for the first time after the war. We get obviously what happens at the end of the chapter and stuff like that. Now, the chapter starts off with Hawks meeting up with All Might and essentially bringing up the fact about, you know, One for All and saying that, listen, you know, the public, it's starting to get on the public eye and everything. You know, I need to know more about this. Some people need to know about this. So we know what relation this One for All has with Izuku Midoriya. And that's when All Might kind of reflects. He's like, well, you know, at this point in time, you know, listen, you know, I would hide it, but now I can't. It's got to be released. The information's got to be released. So that's when, you know, we see All Might's like, okay, I'll tell you everything. We cut from that scene, and that's when we get into the whole press conference scene. I wonder if we're also going to get a chapter that shows All Might telling, you know, Hawks and Best Genius about what One for All is. Hell, maybe Endeavor as well, too. What One for All is, yada, yada, yada. I chose Deku as my successor. He's essentially the guy that's gonna be the hero and everything. That has this great power that has to stop All for One and Shigarashi. So that whole thing. Anyways, we cut to a press conference where we have Best Genius, which, god damn, man! Is this guy a giraffe? Like, shit! If you look at Best Genius design, this man's neck is freaking large as hell. You have a freaking collar like in a triangular fashion. I'm like, so this man just has a long ass neck. Okay. Okay, he best genius giraffe confirmed. I saw that. I was like, so that's why he wears a huge ass collar. Okay. Okay. But we see Best Jeanist, Endeavor, and Hawks, and essentially that's when we have Endeavor reveal to the public the whole situation about his Todoroki family, saying what everything that Dabi said was true, and that he deeply apologizes for the effort, as well as Hawks also telling his backstory, telling about his parents were once criminals, and that, you know, he was born from them, and two, that he also killed twice, even though he goes on to say, like, listen, you know, in that direct moment, I had to do something for that. And, you know, if left unchecked, things would be a lot worse than they are right now. So you have this female reporter just come in as like, this is not the answer I'm looking for. Ninja, Gigantomachia freaking trashed all these people's buildings and homes and stuff like that. My mom's severely damn near in critical condition injured. You know, as well as so many other innocent people that are hurt, injured, or even worse, killed because of this. And all you guys are going to be giving me is just some sorry apology. Now, from their perspective, it makes sense. It's like, you're just going to give some stupid press conference apology? That ain't going to do anything. And essentially, you know, it never makes a point. It's like, well, what else do you want me to do? Just sit here and freaking cry? Well, do you want that? And essentially, the lady replies like, hell no, I want you guys to freaking stop the damn villains and save us. Fudge. And that's when, you know, Endeavor goes on, you know, a speech saying, yeah, okay, that's what I was planning on doing. And that's what we are gonna do. Yeah, my past is tainted, but now I'm gonna do the best of my ability to save Japan, save people, and be a hero. And again, he gives the famous, you know, just watch me speech again, although it's very different from the first time he said it. This time, I think you can say he said this, and I'm not saying he didn't mean it the first time. I think this time you can say he definitely meant it, because he's like, listen, if you're mad at anybody, put all that blame, put all that hatred on me, and stuff like that. Obviously, because he's the number one hero, and he should be the hero that sets the example and everything. And that's when he gives this, and that's when he says the words, just watch me. Again, further now showing that I think Endeavor is truly a hero. He's not what he used to be in terms of just doing it just to be better, stronger, and be the number one, to be better than All Might and everything. I think he's really doing this to be a legit hero, as well as so many others. We get a panel of a few heroes that did not retire and did not dip and did not freaking do anything. So now we see some members of some true heroes. Like we see Wash, we see Mount Lady, which is actually freaking shocking. You would think Mount Lady, with knowing her character, what we've seen in the past of Mount Lady, you would think she'd be one of those heroes that'd just be like, yeah, I'm gonna go try a modeling career or something like that. No, she stayed, which my respect levels for Mount Lady was it definitely goes up. So I really respect. She's a true hero. We see her boyfriend Kamui Woods. We see Aizawa. This man's got a patch now. We see Mirako, who looks to be tightening up, I'm guessing, a prosthetic to her arm. We see Wash. I forgot the other person on the panel. I don't have the chapter pulled up because I can vividly remember everything about the chapter where I don't need to look over it and everything. So, yeah. But you see, you know, the true heroes are going to come together and they're going to do the best they can. But again, it's going to be much tougher because now you're dealing in a world where, well, let's be face it, Shigarashi and All for One has essentially taken over Japan, even though they really haven't, but I would say they kind of have overarching power over Japan now, getting along with the League of Villains and stuff like that too, you know, obviously prison break-ins and everything. Now, also another thing we see here in the press conference is we hear that some special individuals we put into UA as for safekeeping. But it's only the students of Class 1A, the students of UA's families, which it's funny because I did watch Truth Heroes video review about this a few minutes ago before I made my video. And he made a good point in his video, and I totally agree. The fact like, well, why are the students' families getting preferential treatment, getting the safety clause? No, now there could be more facilities where there's, heroes that whatever's left of the heroes that are monitoring that place to keep people safe. But it's like, you would think the public be like, why do they get that special treatment and I don't? What? I have to live in my dingy house, worrying, trying to stay up all night, making sure no villain breaks into my house and tries to kill me. So yeah. Two, we see Bakugo's mother, as well as Inko Midoriya, which we all know is Deku's mom. So we can all say, and everybody within the My Hero Academia community can all freaking take a sigh of relief, a breath of fresh air, because Inko Midoriya is not dead. Because if you're new to the party, apparently some people speculated when Gigantomachia was rampaging around that Deku's mom got caught up in the crossfire because she was riding a bike in one panel before the war arc started, and they looked at this one place where there was a bike. So people thought that Midoriya's mom died, which, okay, I'm glad that she's alive. I feel like they wouldn't go that route, because if anything, that would have to make it where you would have to see Deku's reaction and everything and stuff like that. And it would have just been more, I guess you could say, waste of paneling. But the next thing we do focus on is Class 1A as we get to the end of the chapter, and we see Mineta come out and he's like, yo, I got left a letter from Midoriya. And essentially that's when we see on the letter, because we see only from the perspective of Ochako, everybody in Class 1A got a letter from Deku. And they mostly panel in on Ochako because obviously that's his love interest, So to all the My Hero Academia haters who do not like that shit, well, screw you! Yeah, they focus mostly on Ochako, and essentially what the letter says, and which probably everybody else's letter says, essentially Deku saying what the hell One For All is, why he's leaving UA, and about the fact that Shigaraki and All For One are going after him, and stuff like that. And he just reveals in these letters, it reveals to the whole class that Deku has One For All and that he got it from All Might. So now Bakugo isn't the only person who knows about this quirk. Obviously now everybody else knows about this. Obviously you can see Ochako is visibly upset, very emotional for her, because that's her friend, the person she has feelings for, the person she likes. And she gives a typical baka because she says dummy. So that whole thing is utter shock. We do not see any of the other Class 1A students' reactions. We only really see Ochako's. So I wonder if we're gonna get, maybe in the next chapter, the other Class 1A students' reactions to Deku leaving. And that's when what the hell am I talking about? This would definitely be the last episode of whatever season this war arc takes place in. I think maybe season 7. Yeah, this is definitely gonna be the final episode of whatever season the war arc takes place in. And the last panel is a full spread panel where you have Deku a month later, because we see in the captions, it's April. The war arc started in March. So we kind of get another time skip. Not the time skip most people want. I still am waiting for a maybe 1, 2, 3 year time skip. Now if they did that, I would have been like, whoa, I still say we're in the end game of My Hero Academia. I definitely think the end is like really much coming upon us and everything. But it's like, if they did a time, if Horikoshi did maybe say 3-year time skip, we really would have been like, okay, no, this shit's gonna be ending, in a few, maybe a year or two. I still think, My Hero Academia's got about a good 3 to 5 years left in it. That's just my personal opinion. But in the last panel, we see Deku just looking over the city and essentially just saying, oh look, a big villain's appeared. And that's actually a callback to the very first chapter when we first get introduced to Deku, and he says it in an enthusiastic way. The way he says it now is a way where it's like he's kind of just dejected, essentially, where he's Deku, but he's not the same Deku we've seen from the past. This is a completely different Deku who seems like he's more serious, more mature, more, I guess you can say, depressed in a way, and everything. His design now is honestly wicked badass. Essentially, his design is his season 2 / first half of season 3 design, are the very first upgraded Deku costume design. Like, he doesn't have no Air Force gauntlets like he does now. He has his original gloves, from his, again, like I said earlier, his updated hero costume. His base green costumes is like all ripped to shreds, and I wonder if that's the same costume he wore in the war arc, and it looks like that must be the war arc costume he was wearing, and stuff like that. And then 2, he has like a scarf, which, if this was a color spread, I think that's more than likely Gran Torino's scarf. So we don't know if Gran Torino is dead and he just took his scarf as a way to honor him. So that's another thing that is insane. And then he has like the color pattern, because it's in black and white, you can't tell what that is. So you don't know if it's bandages, you don't know what wrapping type of, like some sort of arm sleeves. I saw somebody throw out in one of the reviews, it looks like, if you've seen My Hero Academia's 2 heroes, it looks like the device Melissa gave Deku, the whole thing where he could have gone all out and not damaged his arms and everything. That's essentially what it looks like. Now, I highly doubt that it is. It might be some sort of just sleeve things and stuff like that. And it's just crazy. But where this could be going, I have no fucking clue. I don't know if Deku's gonna go to the scene and defeat that villain. Again, it seems like maybe, he's doing this, and definitely I think this is a much needed arc. I feel like we're gonna get the next arc is gonna be highly Deku focused, and that's gonna be Deku's training arc to get better accumulated with learning all one for all and being able to control its power a bit more, to where he's able to use the quirk at insane amounts of powers. Like, maybe by the time he freaking continues doing his training, maybe he can go all the way from, like, I think his highest was like 45%. Maybe now we can see him go up to maybe 60%. And maybe if he trains with the quirk a little bit more, he can probably massively jump, maybe get to 85%, one for all full Kali. We don't know where this is going. I don't know. I'm literally like, I was stunned when I saw this, and I'm like, dude, we are really getting banned. And it's funny too, because the chapter also says Deku has left his hero academia. And I'm like, this guy's like vigilantes, anti-hero. Well, not anti-hero, but he's out there. I'm like, he technically has his provisional license, but it's not really an official license. But then again, it's like, at this time, I don't think you can really give the word vigilante to Deku, because let's be honest, and Hero Society is torn down. So technically, hero licensing shouldn't matter at this point in time. Really, the only people you should be considering vigilantes is really, I guess, the people from My Hero Academia vigilantes, and just the civilians using essentially support items to protect themselves. But I'm fine if people call Deku a vigilante. That's fine. It's fine with me. Where the story could be going, I have no clue. I feel like we definitely might have a part where Class 1A is definitely gonna be looking around for Deku. And I really can't wait to see that, reunion / talk, where Deku and Class 1A finally meet up face to face again. And we have maybe an emotional talk where Deku's like, I need to do this for my own reasons, to grow my quirk. While you have the others be like, yo, why are you leaving and stuff like that. That could be a whole emotional scene where they tell him, listen, you don't have to do this on your own. We're gonna be here with you because you're our friend and stuff like that. We promise to be heroes together. And I definitely can't wait to see, the reaction for Ida, Shoto, Bakugo, and Ochako. Yes, he has his relationships with other class, but those are kind of the biggest relationships he has in Class 1A, and though it's those guys because he's affected each and every one of them in their own separate storylines and stuff like that. So definitely can't wait for that. But I really do feel like we're gonna get a Deku training arc where, you know, maybe we do get a scene where Class 1A and Class 1A and Deku meet each other. They have a talk, and that's when Deku says, "I'm gonna go away for a while, but I'll be back. I need to go train my quirk. You guys stay safe and don't do anything stupid." So this could be a thing where Deku travels to the US, maybe trains his quirk better. You know, we get another time skip unless, you know, we can get, you know, a training arc with Deku, and then maybe give us a time skip where, you know, it's been about 2-3 years. Deku comes back to Japan to save Japan and restore Hero Society. And you can make it to where All For One and Shigarashi also have just fully taken over Japan, and Deku comes back to reclaim and save people, while you have like other leftover heroes essentially out kind of just doing whatever they're doing to try to survive and stop people and save others. So they could go that route. I don't know where Horikoshi's going to be taking this, but in a sense, we know where he's going to take this. But I definitely can now say we're definitely nearing the end game for My Hero Academia. Like the end of the story is going to be going, unless Horikoshi wants to pull a One Piece and, you know, go longer than that. So very good chapter. I cannot wait for next week's chapter. I think we don't have a break. I read the unofficial chapter, so I don't really know if we're gonna be having a break. If I'm gonna read the official chapter tomorrow, so hopefully there is no break and I can be like, oh yay, no break, we're good, let's go. But you know, that's a thing. But yeah, that really great chapter. I definitely can't wait to see where the story's going. And yeah, also another thing too, they did have a color spread page at the start of the chapter where it shows you a little bit of Deku's new design. And the reason why I said that's Gran Torino scarf, and that's in that color spread, he was wearing the same exact scarf and it was yellow, so it looks like it was a part of Gran Torino's cape and everything that he took. As well, it was a side by side with Shigarashi. They were both holding TVs with their respective masters on it. Shigarashi had All Might, and Deku was holding All For One, essentially showing the parallels between these two characters and their two masters. So pretty cool. Also, that color spread was also to hype up My Hero Academia, the 5th season, which is coming out, I believe, next week on Saturday, if I look at my calendar. I'm looking up my calendar off my laptop. Screw it. I'll just look at my calendar off my phone. Yeah, next week on Saturday, the day before the next the day where the next chapter would be released. So obviously, you know, My Hero Academia is being big. We got our manga chapters essentially coming out all the way on this weekly basis, which I still find shocking that Horikoshi has not taken a break yet, at least a 1-week break. Like, you know, we've been getting manga chapters like on the go, and you know, like I said, the anime is returning with the 5th season, and stuff like that, with now getting to the whole fold of Deku unlocking his other quirks, mostly with Black Whip and everything in the My Hero Villain Academia arc, which I can't wait to see animated. But yeah, so I'm gonna get after, guys. If you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on this week's My Hero Academia manga chapter review, as well as your thoughts on where the story could be headed and your thoughts about the Deku situation going on. As well as hit the subscribe button if you want to get more My Hero Academia content. I'm not only going to keep doing manga chapter reviews, but I am also doing weekly episode reviews for My Hero Academia Season 5 with my co-host. If you've been on other videos on the channel, The Red Wolf, my friend Denzel, and we'll be talking about that on a week-to-week basis for My Hero Academia to start off Spring Anime 2021. So yeah, that's it, and I'm gonna freaking get out of here. Again, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next video. Again, stay safe out there and wear your mask. Till then, guys, I'll see you guys later. Peace.